Hi everyone and welcome today to another Mass Effect history video. Today we're looking at the lost iOS app known as Mass Effect 3 Datapad. So let's get right into it and look into an app from the past.
Lockhart QT.
So if you don't know, Mass Effect 3 Datapad was a free app for iOS devices released on March 12 all the way back in 2012 during the life cycle of Mass Effect 3. Many people who are sort of newer to the franchise, such as myself, may not even know that this app actually existed, but the Datapad app allowed players to check the status of the galaxy map in Mass Effect 3, receive messages from characters, as well as a few of a myriad of different things which I'll cover in this video. The app, known as, straight up, Mass Effect 3 Datapad, was made because of how integral and important to the actual game the galaxy map and war assets were in Mass Effect 3, as you needed a high enough score essentially to get the secret/perfect destroy ending. Datapad also contained an in-app codex, so you could effectively go down the list, click on a codex, and obviously you could do things like have it read back to you text-to-speech and other things like that, as well as a in-game mini-game that interacts with Mass Effect 3's Galaxy at War system. The Datapad, in terms of the actual app, was also not compatible with Mass Effect 3 Special Edition for Wii U, because, by the way, I'll cover Mass Effect 3 on the Wii U in its own video because it's slightly different, and it wasn't integrated with the Wii U port because essentially that was a special one-off title, but it was compatible with Mass Effect 3 on Steam, as well as EA, as well as obviously Xbox and PS3. And since it's a lost app, because back in sort of June 6th, 2013, Mass Effect 3 Datapad is no longer available through the iOS or the App Store, because obviously, you know, they would have got rid of it and shut everything down for it, which they have done. However, unlike past lost Mass Effect media, such as the Mass Effect iOS game simply known as Mass Effect Galaxy, which I covered in a past video, if you guys want to go check that out, it's effectively a lost Mass Effect game that you can't play anymore. A browser-based version of Datapad actually still exists. If you go to BioWare's N7HQ website, by the way, there will be a link on screen as well as in the description of this video, it will take you to an N7HQ website, which is surprisingly still active. As you can see here, you're greeted with a very Mass Effect 3 sort of classic looking website, and from here you can view your in-game stats, such as the codex entries you've unlocked in-game, galaxy map, war assets, the actual percentages and the stats in game, achievements unlocked, as well as news for Mass Effect 3. Now obviously some of these features don't work anymore, such as the news features and other things, because obviously the game, like most of its online features, don't really exist in the same capacity anymore, but it's interesting nevertheless to look back at this piece of BioWare and Mass Effect history. Now, the minigame portion I mentioned earlier actually exists within the Galaxy Map feature. This allowed you to monitor and increase your Galaxy readiness rating, as well as it basically communicated in-game with Mass Effect 3. And again, you could have a look at your war assets, as well as the Galaxy Map in real time, just to see sort of which features you've unlocked, which planets you've visited, and which are in Reaper control. And finally, the most interesting thing on this app, in my opinion, or feature rather, is the mail section, which is one of the most interesting features, as it allowed you to receive text messages from various characters from Mass Effect 3 as you completed missions in the game in real time. These messages were stored locally and could be received again and again after being deleted, and they do indeed pop up on screen as well as in-game as text notifications if you wanted to sort of even roleplay in-game and immerse yourself in the game, but you know, pretending that you are talking to these characters, which is I guess a little bit sad, but at the same time it's a little bit cool. And it would actually pop up with a sort of realistic text notification, so you could get text from Tali, Liara, Garrus, Miranda, etc., which I think was really cool, but which is weird that it's not a feature in the game, although you can get mail, but it's not the same. It's a bit different here, as it comes up as essentially as like a text notification, which is kind of cool. But anyway guys, this has been a bit of a smaller one today. Usually on the channel, obviously, when I covered Mass Effect Galaxy, which is obviously a lost game, which I mentioned earlier, I went into more detail, whereas here, it's a bit of a shorter video because there's not really much to talk about. It's effectively a companion app for Mass Effect 3, and again, it's a lost piece of media because it doesn't exist anymore other than the website. And if you guys want to check out the N7HQ website, if you log in with your EA account, as long as you've played a sort of classic version of Mass Effect 3, and what I mean by that is the actual Mass Effect 3 game standalone, not the Legendary Edition, that doesn't count, and obviously the Wii U version doesn't count either, but if you played it on Steam, PS3 or Xbox 360, you can view all of your stats there, and it was a nice little sort of trip down memory lane, so to speak, to quickly have a look at my save file and look what I did years ago. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and for more Mass Effect historic lost apps and different games and videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you want news and updates on the upcoming Mass Effect game as well as Dragon Age Dreadwolf, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.